the Rothman Institute presents Take 5 on Hawks All Access.
Hawk fans, the end of the month of May just about here on the St. Joseph's campus, and with it comes the end of the academic year and also one of the most iconic sporting events in Philadelphia, that being the Dad Vail Regatta, as rowing teams from across the country come down to the Schuylkill River to compete, and of course the Hawks will join them on their home course. And joining us right now is senior Rob Gilroy. Hi, how are you?
Good, Matt. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Welcome to Take 5.
Thank you. Thanks for welcoming me in.
Well, those of us who live in the Philadelphia area, we tend to know what the Dad Vail is, but if you were telling somebody about it for the first time, how would you explain it to them? What would you say?
Sure. It's a two-day event. It's the largest collegiate rowing event in the country. Philadelphia is one of the big rowing hubs of the nation, so we're lucky to have it on our home course. And over 100 schools come in. There's going to be 30 in the varsity event. And we see it throughout the season, even from the fall looking to May racing season as our championship. So it's what we have our sights set on throughout all of our training and racing. Something
you knew about before you came to St. Joseph's? Were you familiar with it before, or was it kind of a learning process as far as what it was when you got here?
Sure. Not having rowed in high school, the Dad Vail was new to me. I knew of the sort of rowing culture in Philadelphia, coming in on 76 and seeing Boathouse row, but it was always somewhat of a mystery to me before I got here for college.
Well, you just kind of opened up another question for me. Not having rowed in high school, how did that process come about? How did you get into it?
Sure. So I played lacrosse and soccer in high school, and got to St. Joe's and knew I wanted to still compete in athletics, and met some guys from the team, and they sort of looked at me and thought taller guys generally have somewhat of an advantage in rowing, and they asked me to come out, and it ended up being a good fit.
Lone four-year guy on the squad this year. Do you feel like guys generally gravitate toward you as far as leadership, or they just automatically look up to you because you're that four-year guy?
Somewhat, yes. We're lucky enough to have Ben Smith. He was the captain at Marist last year, a fifth-year grad student, had an extra year of eligibility. And he's been able to set a great example for all of our guys and really make me feel less alone up there at the top as the old guys. But he's been great, and our juniors have stepped up, and we have a great, smart freshman class that sort of knows what to look for and what to emulate. So it's worked out well.
Good. You feel like you take it upon yourself kind of to take that role, to take that leadership role?
Sometimes I'll have to take a freshman aside and say, I love the fire you're bringing, but maybe this is the way we have been doing things.
Simmer down over there.
A little bit, but it's been good, and we've been able to channel their energy to some good boat speed.
For you, most challenging aspect of your career here at St. Joseph's, rowing, and the most rewarding at the same time?
Sure. Well, first off, the training's pretty grueling, and it's the easiest when we can do it as a team. So it's the hardest when we have to go away for a summer break or a winter break and not be able to train together. So that's always the toughest thing for me. But the most rewarding, I would say, has been able to train and row under Coach Irwin and Coach Beck. Coach Irwin was on the coaching staff for the Olympics in 2004 and 2008, and Coach Beck coached at one of the best rowing programs in New England, Essex. So they both bring a lot to the table and have been able to create a great culture for us to grow under and learn skills and abilities that we wouldn't have otherwise imagined. So they've been great to us, and I've enjoyed rowing under them.
I thought you were going to tell me the hardest part was what time your alarm clock goes off. What times it typically go off? What's the average wake up time during the season?
Normally around 5:45. Oh. Don't leave a whole lot for myself don't leave a whole lot for myself in terms of getting to the boathouse. We try and be efficient with it, but once we're out there on the water and the sun's coming up and we get down to Boathouse Row and it's nice and warm, we don't regret being down there.
5:45. You realize there are people with full-time jobs that don't get up at 5:45, right?
Yeah, it's what we do, I guess. I know. It's
Fair enough. Well, success for you on the water and in the classroom as well. How have you been able to maintain that? What's the driving force behind being able to succeed both on the water and in the classroom?
In a lot of ways, they've been able to help themselves. Rowing's made me busier, and I've been able to. It's forced me to balance things pretty well. But also, I've learned great work ethic from rowing and learning under Coach Irwin for the 3 years he's been here to just know what you got to do to get things done. And
anyone in your life that's been a particularly big influence academically?
Academically, I'd say my parents have been good at exemplifying high standards, but academically, I'd say I was a research assistant under John Nieva and Alfredo Maury, professors in the International Business Department, and they've been great to me. They've pushed me to do things I wouldn't have imagined, like going down for an internship in Mexico. But they've been great to me. You didn't drink the
water, did you?
No.
Okay,
no.
Good.
Stayed away from that.
Just making sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, they've been great to me. I can't thank them enough. And I've been happy for the great relationships I've been able to foster with some of the professors here at St. Joe's.
Last question for you. We kind of have a little fun with this one. You get to pick one of your teammates who's going overboard. They're getting the heave-ho. Who is it and why?
I'd say, well, Dave Robinson and I, we went overboard twice in Miami over the summer, or over winter break, and we both survived, so maybe I'd take him along with me and he can pull me out of the water again.
I thought you were going to throw one of the freshmen under the bus. You're talking about freshmen that get maybe a little too riled up, a little too fired up.
Yeah, maybe they're next on the chopping block.
Well, good to see you. We wish you the best of luck this weekend at the Dad Vail, and future plans. What's going on after graduation?
Sure. I'm going to work for a risk management firm in New York City in mid-July. I'll have about 2 months to sort of decompress and hang out a little bit before heading off there.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck heading back to Carlisle, PA for a couple months.
Yes, yeah. I'll head back there, relax, see the family, and maybe get to some beach time before I head up to New York.
Fantastic. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks, Matt.
That's Rob Gilroy, senior for the men's rowing team. And, of course, you can come out and see them this weekend, the Dad Vail Regatta. It's a Philadelphia institution, that event, just like St. Joseph's. For Rob Gilroy, Matt Martucci with you on St. Joseph's All Access and Take 5. We'll see you next time, Hawk fans.